correctly with the correct amount.
And now for our feature presentation.
분신사바, 오이테 쿠다사이.
Your testicles and your genitalia, they weren't doing that just to be mean. Their whole quest has been to cut off your life germ. See, the power is in your seed. All right? It's not in nothing about size and all of that people say. The power is in your seed because you all are the greatest men on earth, the maker, the owner, the cream of the planet Earth, God of the universe. Can't nobody take that from you. Now, I know we got some of the guys in the gutter. We got some of the guys on crack. We got the guys in prison. But that doesn't negate who you really are. And the only person that don't know who the black man is the black man.
Whatever I tell you to do, you fucking do it. If I tell you to take a fucking gun and kill Freaky, you're going to do it, because I told you to.
There is no such thing as a heartbeat at 6 weeks. It is a manufactured sound designed to convince people that men have the right to take control of a woman's body away from her.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man? Bro, I'm out, man. That nigga's tripping.
Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Bitch, he cheaper by the dozen if his ass have any more. And I'm only 25, still got a couple years to go. I don't need a babysitter, cause this baby gotta go. It's a shortage on the milk, and them diapers be expensive. I ain't tryna be a MILF, so I swallow all his children. I got hyphy in my blood, so you know I'm big pimpin'. Niggas tryna fall in love, tell them niggas I ain't with it.
Correctly with the correct amount.
And now for our feature presentation.
Welcome to the Thinking Man's Templar, the place where we say one red pill life, flawed ways, a billion blue pill lives, and where the soldiers can come in from the war, remove their armor, drop their swords, and have conversations with like-minded men. And indeed, gentlemen, once again, I'm here to dispel the lies, speak a little truth into our hectic worlds. Excuse for the delay, been a little under the weather. So if you hear me sniff or may cough, please excuse that. I didn't have my voice too well, so I couldn't really speak for a long amount of time without a lot of interruptions. So I was just, drinking tea, trying to get myself back in order. What really helped, and I would advise a lot of you men, is if you're ever feeling a little off, I would advise you, if you find a sauna, if you got a gym, and it has a sauna, definitely take advantage of it. At least, if you can't do it every day, do it at least 3 times a week. Just, and if there's a gym around, kind of work yourself up, get a little workout in, get your blood flowing, get a little sweat, and then go sit in the sauna, man, for as long as you could take it, man. Just, I wouldn't say too crazy, maybe 10, 15 minutes. Your body around that time, it's a good sauna. You be drenched in sweat. Listen to some music, meditate, listen to some videos, and take your mind off the heat and just kind of zone out. And when you leave, man, it feels so good when you get when you get a good burst of fresh air and you take a shower, you feel so great. You sweat out all them toxins and sweat. And I swear that was like the improvement. That was when everything went back to normal. I started feeling a lot better. And I did it like probably 2 days later. Did the same thing. I walked on the treadmill for like 30 minutes, 45 minutes. And I sat in the sauna for about 15. I tried to push to 20. And, drinking water while I'm in there, which helped me like kind of extend it a little bit, because you got to hydrate, or you're going to start to feel a little lightheaded sometimes. So definitely tell you, brothers, that's a good therapeutic thing. The sauna, man, it makes your nasals clear up, especially if you're under the weather. It's good, man. But what I wanted to talk about is, and I've always told you men this, you're surrounded on all fours. And unfortunately, the plan always and always will be to ensure that you don't continue on this planet, that a generation will cease to exist, and they will start from scratch. And all the children that are born will be under the current program. And that everybody prior and those that have been actualized. You will never transfer your seed into the next life. Your name will die with you. That's the ultimate game. That's the end game of everything that we've talked about, anything that anybody has ever talked about in regards to male-female interaction relations between black men and so-called black women, is to disallow you the opportunity to transfer your seed into the next generation. That's the end game. Keep you separate, keep you divided, turn your woman into a genocidal child destroyer. Her leaders preach that she murders. She's doing the job of her master. It's almost like she's exceeded their expectations to the maximum fold. She is completely devoid of the guilt, the emotional strain of destroying her children. It has become almost second nature to her. Young women will kill a child with no recollection. It will never mean anything to her. Women have multiple abortions. Their body is a graveyard, literally. Something that was meant to bring life forth has been transformed into a literal graveyard. Imagine that. Imagine how much your enemy hates you. Really think about it. He literally created your counterpart to destroy you in and outside of the womb. She is the root of all death. She raises the killers. She fucks the killers. She praises the killers. She even sends those killers to kill others. She is a harbinger of death. I don't know any other way to describe it. I mean, as a black man, you should be almost terrified of what would happen if you get involved with one of these murderers. I mean, most black men I know have never taken a life, have never thought of taking a life, never been in a situation where they had to murder someone, you know? Maybe aside from men who spent time in the military, that's the only group. None of you men have really been. I mean, some of us, we grew up in the hood, we grew up in the street. We survived it, but we never were killers. We never were killers. We had that sense of love and respect for human life. We may have had conflicts, we may have gotten in fights, you may have whooped a couple, beat a couple motherfuckers' asses in your day, but you didn't want to kill anybody. You didn't have the maybe in a situation that crossed your mind in a heat of rage, but it's crazy how we don't see the same thing as they do. They don't see what they do as killing. And that's because the program has completely made them devoid of any sympathy towards the life that they carry. It's a real insidious plan, if you think about it. But I don't think that the average person even takes the time to really analyze why. You must always be aware of those around you, those people that look like you. Because you don't have the same soul, man. You don't have the same soul. You're not built the same way. You're not from the same cloth. You're different. You're an outlier. You've always been that way. You're one of the chosen who can see. You had discernment. You knew right from wrong. And there's nothing wrong with that. Everything is perfect. You were created just right. But you grew up in a hellscape. So you were an outlier in a hellscape. You weren't meant to understand it. You weren't meant to fit into it. It's the square box in the circle hole, you know? And I wanted to segue from that, what I just started with, to I saw this video, man, this song, and I'll put it in the beginning just so you guys can get a whiff of this trash. One of these fucking hood demons made a song praising or making jokes about aborting her children. It's called something murder. She's saying murder on my mind while there's a woman twerking in front of a Planned Parenthood building. I kid you not. And this is further proof that hip hop music has become what heavy metal was back in the 80s, right? What heavy metal became when it became demonic and satanic. And it basically destroyed the genre, because people that grew up on rock, in the 70s, and the bands that were great. Now, don't get it wrong, there were bands that were great in the 80s, of course. But a lot of it became so satanic, and I think it became so extreme that it pushed away its core audience. The core audience of rock fans began to carry on a persona that made them these outliers of society. And then the music it wasn't mainstream no more, because the average person couldn't understand it anymore. They couldn't relate to it when it started challenging your spiritual boundaries as a human being. And then before you knew it, heavy metal and rock became subgenres. It's popular in small pockets. And I think it hit the extreme with Marilyn Manson. Once Marilyn Manson came out, and the Ozzy Osbournes and these characters, it became something that couldn't be sold anymore on the mainstream. You couldn't play the videos anymore. Now, I'm sure it still exists somewhere, but again, if you're not going to look for it, you're not going to find it. And now the music industry has found its new avenue for emanating the waves of satanic energy into the world. Hip hop, rap. I wouldn't say hip hop, I'd say rap. Just rap music. And when you call something rap, it's rap music, but it's devoid of hip hop culture, right? Because hip hop culture engulfs a certain energy about how you carry yourself in that culture. The music, the DJing, the art, the expression of community, togetherness, right? All of these things. The ability to go somewhere, listen to hip hop, and everybody have a great time in the name of this culture. Whatever it was, you go watch some people break dancing. You go watch a DJ contest. You go watch a producer battle. You go watch an MC battle. You go to a graffiti exhibit. You go to watch an MC rap, right? The whole purpose was to get you together with your people in the name of this culture, and then it be peace. Get you out of the street. Giving people something to do to get them off the street. Now, rap is amalgamation of these record labels ran by you know who, that even in their own spiritual text, it speaks that they can deceive, mistreat other groups of people because they're not part of their, I think, how can you say, their religion, so to speak. They're shysters on purpose, because their book tells them that you can do anything to anybody else that isn't you, and there's no consequence, because they're not from your bloodline or your religion, so to speak, your group. So they take something that was, once beautiful, man. I mean, I remember having such a deep, passionate affection for rap, for hip hop music, for rap, for everything. I think we all were like that at one point. It's all I cared about. I had the posters on the wall, the music, spending hours at a time, scrolling through Sam Goody and Tower Records and just searching for that perfect album. And I would easily spend 40, 50, 60 bucks of my hard-earned money just buying music. You know, I used to love how the CD case smelled and the tape cassette smelled when it was brand new. Remember when you open up a tape and it have like that smell, you know? The CD would have you remember when you tried to take out a CD for the first time and it was a little hard to get it out the case that first time? You know, it's all clean and you look at it, you put it in your headset or your stereo or your Walkman. You know, you start opening the packaging, you know, you're looking at the artwork and, you know, you're looking at all the pictures. Some of them, if you're lucky, they have the lyrics in there. You know, and it would be like this aura about it, man. Like you watch Yo MTV Raps and Video Music Box for those who knew about it, and man, Rap City at its height. And you know, it was such a marvel, man. I remember my first show I went to. It was in the Apollo Theater. It was the Def Jam Survival of the Illest tour. And I think it was Core Mega from Queensbridge. It was El Nino, which was Keith Murray, Redman, and Eric Sermon. It was Onyx, and DMX closed out the show. And I never forget being outside the Apollo, and Def Jam Records used to have, back in the days, it was like street teams and promotional teams that would go out, hang up flyers before social media and all that. And some of the bigger labels would have like vehicles playing music, driving around the neighborhood, and they used to have a Def Jam van that was playing music. So we're outside the Apollo, and of course the Def Jam van is parked outside. And I remember I was probably like 13, and it was like Core Mega was rapping outside on the street on the mic with the instrumentals, and I rapped, and my friend rapped. And it was just like, man, those moments, right? Then to see Core Mega perform, he brought out Foxy Brown. And then I think he brought out Cannabis, when Cannabis was like at his best, right? Cannabis was at a certain point considered probably one of the best dudes. I mean, his come up was meteoric. It was like, man, he's unbelievably good, you know, at what he does. He would do the Clue tapes, and I mean, when he came out, I remember Cannabis came out and he had like his hand over his head like a shark fin, and he came out like kind of, you know, and he started rapping his freestyles from like the Clue tape, the famous ones. He said something, juggling a hand grenade with a pin out in a stolen something, doing a 360 spin out, like that joint from back in them days. And I remember Onyx performing, man. I was a big Onyx fan, right? And I remember, what song was it? They did Throw Your Guns, and they did Last Days. And I remember Sticky Fingers climbing on top of this tall speaker when he did the verse from the video, when he was like standing on the edge. He's like, I feel like taking my own life. Might as well, right? And he stood on the speaker, and the lights went down, and the lights turned red. And it was like, wow. And people were so hyped. I was on the top balcony at Apollo. Anybody from New York know, it was like, yo, I felt the balcony rattling and shaking. Like I thought it was going to cave in or something. You know, I started getting scared, like for real. You know, that's how much hype it was. And then when DMX came out, man, that was probably one of the best one-man shows I've ever seen. I mean, he came out to just like the album. It was like, man, he had such an aura about him. Rest in peace to the dog, but it was like amazing, man. I couldn't believe it. Like that's all I wanted to pursue, or at least be a part of it. You know, and now, you know, I've seen Nas and I never seen Jay-Z perform. But I'm going to Belo Horizonte, which is a city out here, to see 50 Cent. So I still have my love for it, you know. I got to take a plane to go see 50 Cent. So going from that to the point where I literally avoid new music. You know, they turn it into this melatonin, emo, singing type thing, and it's lost all of the technique. I mean, there's a couple of cats that I guess could rap, so to speak, but it's like they took the soul out of it, man. It's like I don't feel it. You know, I don't get that feeling like you get when you hear DMX. You know, you don't get that inner rage turned into some type of peace he created with his art, but it was still that rage of inside his heart, but it was like controlled, and it was transmitted through his music. I think nobody made you feel their music more than DMX. You know, something like Nas, right? Nas is almost like he captured film all his life, and he explained his experiences through the poetic analysis, right? Nas never yelled, never got loud. Maybe on like one mic was the only song you heard him yelling. But other than that, he had a cool demeanor. He spoke like a poet, would read his poetry in front of a crowd. He used his regular voice, his real name. It wasn't really much to it, but he just he was. And he explained his life. He captured it perfectly. At a teenage age, he made Illmatic. And it still is heralded as one of the best pieces of music ever created. You know, you got to listen to a teenage experience spoken like an adult with the skill of the best of the best. He was the prodigal son. I remember my mom had Illmatic before I even knew who Nas was. I saw the tape and I looked at it. She had a little tape case, and I looked at the tape, and it was like a little kid on the front. So I'm like, what is this? Nas? What is this? Illmatic? All of it was foreign to me. The word, the name, the person on the front. I had no reminiscent of idea of what this was. Nothing. I thought it was a kid making music. Like, what is this? Like ABC or, Crisscross or something? Like, what is this? My mom said, and I'll never forget the words, why don't you go listen to it? Go figure it out. This is her introducing me. Now, of course, I knew about Run DMC and all of that. And, I was still a fan of LL Cool J and things like that. But the 90s, it became, rap took a turn into its creative peak to me. It was always entertaining. And I liked certain songs, of course. But I think when I heard that Illmatic tape, and a lot of you can go back to that moment when you heard Illmatic, and you remember what you were doing, with how it hit you. And I remember going up to my room, and I want to hear those stories in the comments too. But I remember going up to my room, man. I put the tape in. I opened the cover, looking at it. I'm like, oh, this dude, this ain't the kid. This is an older guy. Okay. Now it's all coming together. Like, oh, okay. I really thought it was like a child making the music, like some young Michael Jackson or something. So I open it up, and it's like a young guy. So I'm like, oh shit, this guy looks cool. You know what I mean? Got the cool haircut, nice clothes. Looks like a cool dude, right? That's the first thing you notice. He's in the cities in New York. You're like, okay. Then the first thing comes on. Yeah. Young Black, it's time. It's time, man. You know what I mean? Straight out the fucking dungeons of rap. And his voice still sound pretty adolescent. Fake niggas don't make it back. And then he started rapping. And I think in the first 30 seconds, my mind fractured. I heard Big Daddy Kane. I heard Rakim. And they were older men. And Rakim was always fascinating to me. But this was different because he wasn't that much older than I was, maybe 4 years older than me at the time. And it rocked my mind to hear it coming from such a young voice, you know? And I was always mystified of Nas. I tried to dress like him. I got the same haircut with the part and the waves, and you know, and I tried to be him. It was something that drove me to have a certain character, a certain mystique about myself. He kind of taught me the proper way for a man to kind of operate in the presence of others. Low key, you know, don't speak too much, does not wild dude. So I adopted that persona as a teenager, and it carried me into my 40s. I'm still the same way because I saw that, and I was able to have like an archetype of what type of man I wanted to be, or just a type of persona. And that's how much the music influenced me. That's what I'm really talking about, like influence. We can get into a whole hip hop conversation, and if y'all want to do that, we can do that. You know what I mean? But it's like it molded me in a way, right? The street conversation from Nas's perspective was one of someone on the outside, but was close to it, but was above it still, right? And of course, you know, you got NWA coming from the perspective of somebody that's in it, which I never really got into NWA. I'm not gonna lie. I saw the movie. It was cool, but I never really got into them like that. You know, I liked the songs. I heard Respect Yourself, Do What You Do. That was cool. You know, but I never really listened to the albums or nothing like that. You know, I loved Ice Cube when he went solo. I didn't really care for him when he was with NWA. I just didn't like the music, really. You know, I didn't like the beats. I just didn't like what they was talking about, really. I needed something a little more intelligent, right? I didn't like just outright ignorance. Even though they spoke about certain things that mattered, but it was still, the majority of it was just like, I couldn't get with them. And they wasn't really lyricists to me like that, you know? And the influence, and you know, of course, we can't get mad. I mean, they got their violent music, but we have violent music too. You know, I'm not going to say it didn't exist in the 90s. It did, of course. I don't know where rap got that from, but it's something that I've always kind of noticed, like, damn, you know, but I did listen to it. But of course, there was like a equal median of positive music. And that's kind of where hip hop balanced out. It was like the good, bad, and ugly. And you could kind of sit there and, you know, of course, when Wu-Tang came out, that was life altering to me because they embodied a more intellectual side of me that woke me up to things I didn't know. You know, Nas was talking about things you knew and you saw, and he was speaking for you from that perspective. Wu-Tang Clan was talking about stuff I didn't know nothing about. 5% knowledge, you know, the wisdom they was kicking from that perspective. They made me look into things. Like I had to go find out more. You know, when I heard like Killer Priest album, it made me like look into the Bible more. Like try to understand where he's coming from. I remember, you know, there was a lot of talk of like reptilians and human skin and and I had to go find this out. Like, what are they talking about? But it was so dope, man. Like Wu-Tang was like our Avengers. They were like superheroes almost. They weren't even like real dudes to me. And I've met multiple members of Wu-Tang Clan. For y'all to know I did music. I opened up for Raekwon. I performed with Ghostface before. You know what I'm saying? I met Jizza. I had a cypher with Jizza before. I know Killer Priest. Killer Priest is my friend. You know what I mean? That's my man. I've been to his birthday party, got drunk with him. He's been to my crib. You see what I'm saying? I've been to his crib. I know his sons. That's my man. So it's like they were so larger than life to me. I was blessed by the Most High to be able to know some of these dudes. And even in the casuals aspect. Killer Priest is probably the closest out of everybody. You know what I mean? I done went to bars and got wasted with this nigga. But they meant so much to my them pivotal teenage years, man. They meant everything to me. They meant everything to me, you know, Mobb Deep, you know, Prodigy, and they gave us so much insight. It taught me how to be a young teenager. Like they gave me the insight of what it was. It gave you a soundtrack to your struggle, man. You felt like somebody understood what you was going through. But you also had the jewels to like navigate it, you know what I mean? Regardless of how it may sound, it was also jewelry in it. It wasn't just outright violence, you know? Just violence for no reason. It captivated us. I swear, the 90s era of music, it brought us to another level. And then when it started to get crazy, like 96, I think, personally, I don't know, you guys put your opinion in the comments. Personally, I feel like 96 was the illest year for rap for me. Between 94 and 96. Not saying nothing against 92, Black Moon and all of that. But I feel like 94 to 96 was the years when it like crystallized my mind. It was like my mind was coated in diamonds because it's almost like I was learning from the best and the brightest on how to be a cool nigga, man. You know, my dress, my tone, my actions. I was like a mix between, for anybody that never met me, like if you could take 3 rappers, 3 MCs that you loved and things about their persona and put them to kind of match who you are now. Everybody took a little bit of everybody. I would say my persona is a mix between Prodigy, Raekwon, and Nas. Those were the 3 MCs that kind of molded my character, like how I talked, how I walked, how I acted, how I thought. Those were the 3 people that people even said I got a certain reminder. They reminded me of them, or you know, because those are the people I took that type of my speech, my slang usage. You know, we all got one. You could probably say I'm a little bit of Hove, maybe a little bit of Method Man, a little bit of, you know, everybody got like 3 MCs that personify their personality. You know, I always thought about making like hip hop baseball cards and have like certain stats and statistics on them. You know, I always had that mentality. I never did it, but that was something I always thought was cool because there's so many deeper levels to a MC than just his music. It's like what he embodies, like fashion wise, and his lyrics and his, you know, savvy, like all that matters. And then around 98, you know, Jay-Z started to get his push. And I like Jay-Z. You know, I got nothing against him. He's not better than Nas to me, but I definitely have been impressed by him on multiple occasions. He embodies something too that put another chamber, another bullet in the chamber, so to speak, for us, as far as like money and being like kind of having a capitalist thought process. Made you want to get money, you know, get out the struggle now. Now you want to get out. The 2000s, the 90s to 2000s was still a good era. You know, I remember Noriega when he first came out, how big he was. And this is around the time, 99, I started to get introduced to Southern music. And I think when my first introduction was Outkast, of course. UGK and 8-Ball MJG, they came later. But Outkast was the first group to kind of blow with AT Aliens. And I'll never forget, I got a funny story. I'll never forget, me and my boys, y'all probably used to do this. You go to the mall, you got a little money from your little jobs, and you go to the mall, probably buy some sneakers, or, you know, go talk to girls, go to the movies. Just fuck around. When you was young, you just go to the mall, just fuck around. You ain't really doing shit. You know what I mean? Just walking around with your friends, talking, bugging out. And this is before kids was doing smash and grabs, and now you can't even, you know. We would just walk through the mall, man, and we would just talk to girls, get numbers, have little competitions. Who won't get the most numbers on a Saturday? You know, you would just want to go to the mall. It'd be like Saturday. You'd be like, my mom, I'm about to go to the mall just for no reason. Probably your mom give you like $100 or something on a good day. Or you got money from your little job. You know what I'm saying? You go in the mall, probably copy some shit. You know what I mean? Anyway, we used to go buy music, of course, go to Sam Goody and listen. You know, I used to love when record stores had like the previews and on the headphones and shit. You know, but I remember my boy bought AT-Alien because they had that song, Elevators. The me and you, your mama and your cousin too. So my boy bought it, and we was kind of like clowning him, like, hey, what you get that bullshit for? Fuck out of here with that shit. That shit's alright. What you get? The fuck is an AT-Alien? What's the album? You know how we, you know, I'm a New Yorker. We just on some bullshit. You know, but I remember us walking home from the mall. It was dark now. Walking home. And we all just, you know, now you going with your boys, you run, you cracking jokes, talking shit, ragging on each other, whatever. Just bullshitting, shooting the wind. I think we was all about 16. I don't know now, 97? Yeah, he was like 16, 15, 16 around that time. We walking home, we talking shit. And my boy who's usually the loudest motherfucker out of everybody, talking the most shit, is like dead silent. He got his headphones on. He ain't saying shit. He got the AT-Aliens in his headphones. This motherfucker is radio silent. Like he hasn't spoken about anything. The music was like fucking his head up. We didn't know that at the time because we didn't hear it. And we sitting there, we just finished talking shit to him about buying that fucking tape. Like, what the fuck you buy that for? And we started fucking with him like, yo, what the fuck, bro? What the fuck is wrong with you? Listening to that bullshit. And we started like kind of just getting a little intense. And he took the headphone off like, yo, shut the fuck up. Like, yo, shut the fuck up, yo. I'm trying to listen to this shit. This shit is crazy. We was like, what? That shit ain't hot. He's like, yo, this shit is fucking crazy. This shit is fire. I'm like, what? We talking. She's like, yo, just chill. Like, he was dead serious. Like, yo, leave me alone, bro. I'm really listening to this. You know what I mean? From that point, you know how your friend do. Now y'all get home because we all like, what? Now we want to hear it. So we get to, I don't know whose crib we went to. You know, you got the little bullshit boombox with the tape player, you know, back in the day. And he started playing it. And I'll never forget, man. I never heard those sounds before. Like, we all was blown away by this. Like, we just sitting in silence. Like, we didn't say nothing, just like he did. I literally was like taken to another place by that album. Because it was so different. It was so different from everything. They weren't talking about killing people. You know, and I remember seeing the videos from their first album in Andre 3000, and I just never really I liked it, but it wasn't enough for me to buy it. You know, it's too much it was so much music around then. It was so easy to overlook good music. You only had so much money, right? We didn't have all the internet where you could listen to 9 albums in 1 hour. You know, you had to listen to what you had. So it's like, if I didn't have the money for it, and if it was something that I wasn't really like, you know, I wasn't going to spend the $20 on it. Them shits was $20 back in the day. You know, you was a kid. You didn't have fucking money like that. So he was like, I don't know about that. He took the risk on buying the tape. Back then, tapes was $10. To a 16-year-old kid, that's you know, that's money. But I remember us listening to that joint, man. And I started to realize, like, damn, does people rap good in Atlanta? You know what I mean? Like, this shit is dope. So then all of a sudden now you're doing more research. You start finding more groups and these different levels of the music. When I really got into Southern music, I was in Georgia in college, and my roommate was from Georgia. And one Thanksgiving I didn't go home, but we would always have these rap. I had a lot of CDs. I used to work at Sam Goody. I stole a good amount of CDs. My CD collection was like unlike anybody my age should have. I had one of them binders with the CDs and I had the covers in there. Motherfucker stole so many damn CDs from me in college. It was like I wanted to fight everybody in my dorm. You know what I mean? But me and him he had a good music collection too. So we had these like music battles. He played some shit, I play some shit. Then all of a sudden, he's playing like Psychodrama and 8-Ball and MJG and UGK and all these artists I never heard of, 3-6 Mafia. And now my mind is starting to be expanded like his is. Because now he's starting to like it. You know what I mean? This is 99. He wants to, hey, can I borrow that DMX? He never heard of this shit. He want to hear Nas now. He want to hear Jay-Z. It's like we're sharing it with each other. And it was like, that's what the music did, man. It was like these magical moments in my life that hip hop has given me, blessed me with. And now we get to a fucking point where you got fucking DJ academics saying old rappers is dusty and broke and fuck them. And it's like, bro, what part of hip hop have you ever been a part of? Especially with the name DJ. You shouldn't have DJ next to your name, bro. You're a fucking clown. Right? He's a cornball. Through and through. But this is where this shit is becoming now. It's like a clown show. You got bitches rapping about abortion. You got fucking bitches rapping about sucking dick every fucking other song. You know what I mean? Fuck being like Lauryn Hill. Fuck being like Rod Digger. Fuck being like whoever. You know what I'm saying? Rhapsody can't even get a fucking song on the radio. It's like, yo, what happened to it? Like, it's become so toxic that it's almost, as an adult, it's hard for you to listen to it. It's like almost, it's too much. It's too extreme. It's like everybody's trying to go viral. They're doing the most extreme shit they could do. You know what I'm saying? There's no in between no more. Only got like J. Cole, a handful of rappers that don't do that. Don't rap super negative Chicago murderous drill. Don't get me started on fucking Chicago music, bro. I am not a fan of none of these drill niggas. I don't give a fuck if they from New York, Chicago. I don't fuck with none of that shit. That shit is entirely too demonic, too wicked, too evil, just too murderous. I can't listen to that shit, bro. I'm not a fan of it. I can't fuck with it, man. I don't want that culture. It's crazy how record labels take that particular most violent place in America and they go and sign every fucking rapper from that place. Now everybody's rapping like that. Everybody got guns. Everybody wants to kill. Everybody's an op. Everybody got a stick. Everybody da-da-da-da. Everybody's fucking just a violent maniac now. They know what the fuck they doing when they do this shit, man. They know what they doing, man. You know exactly why they're taking this music and putting it at the forefront. You know exactly why Megan Thee Stallion and Cardi B and all these other fucking rap prostitutes that's literally, it's like they take a piece of black culture and they find a rapper that embodies it, right? It was like the Jay-Z was like the guy that was getting money in the streets, you know what I mean? But was intelligent, but he still was a little street dude. Nas was like the smart, intelligent guy that read books, but was still in the street, but he still was like well known, but he was cool, had a fly demeanor, was ill. You know, certain dudes represented certain shit. Wu-Tang was like that crew of dudes that was just all nice at rapping, all different, all unique. DMX was that nigga from like the bottom. that had so much fury in him, but he was like just talented as fuck. Everybody represented something, you know. Everybody was some piece of human culture. Little Kim and Foxy was like them girls that was like fucking with the hustlers, but they was, you know, but they was nice with it, you know. They was about their money and blah blah blah, you know. They wasn't, you know, they wasn't outright like this. They still had their moments, of course. But you never seen Little Kim twerking or, you know, all that stripper shit. Now they've taken the stripper and the prostitute and found the rap version of those. They've taken a piece of our culture and a piece, like, you know, and made it. Now they found the stripper representative and the bitch who sell pussy representative. Cardi B sold pussy. You know what I mean? The stripper bitch. Now she can rap now. Now, if you a stripper that can rap, like, niggas gonna sign you because you strip and you rap. Oh yeah. Now you could twerk and you could do all little hoe tricks on stage, and it's like, come on, man. Now all the girls want the stripper ass and the fake titties and the fantasy. It's not real. That woman is not real. That woman is not real. She doesn't represent reality in no shape, form, or fashion. But of course, she's like put at this pedestal where hip hop has kind of lost a lot of its soul. It's lost a lot of its essence. A lot of things about rap have lost their realness, you know? I can't say it any differently. Like, I don't even know where to begin. As someone who was raised by hip hop music, raised by the culture, participated in the culture, it breaks my heart, man. Are there still bright spots? Of course. Yes, and that's the beauty I give to the internet. It allows you to go find good music. You know, Rock Marciano just dropped something dope with Alchemist, and Ka from Brownsville, Ka that used to rhyme with him, dropped 2 albums this week, and they're both dope. If nobody heard of Ka, it's Ka with K-A. And he dropped the album Descendants of Cain, and he dropped 2 last week that are just phenomenal. Literally poetry. You know? Beautiful, beautiful projects. And it's still something that I can love, but it's damaged, you know? It's like a girl used to date, just like Common. I used to love her. We're all living that song right now. We're all living I used to love her, like, every day. Like, damn, yo, remember when she was like this? And now everybody running through her, niggas, everybody fucking her, and you just like, you got love for her, but it's like, you know, damn, man, you could be so much better than you are. You know? Because now rap is like a clown show. It's literally like buffoonery. It's buffoonery. It's embarrassing. You know? As a lover of the cultures. And I'm not saying the negative aspects. I don't like when people throw that culture term around. It's for the culture and the culture. And it's almost like black people don't realize, like, you don't have a culture. Your culture was sold to you. Your culture was marketed and repackaged and sold back to you in a murderous, hypersexualized. It's representative of people that can't survive in society. It represents all the things of a person who is on the path of destruction, that will not survive into their 40s, right? Who won't have longevity in their life. They won't make it. You understand? Look at these motherfuckers in Chicago. What lifespan does a motherfucker from Chicago that embodies drill music and lives it? What kind of lifespan they got? What's the lifespan of a stripper / prostitute? Come on. Short-term life. Long-term destruction. If you get to live that long. This is what we got. This is what we got, man. You know, you go from Lauryn Hill, that thing, warning people about the things that can corrupt them and how to stay, you know, righteous. to a song about murder on my mind. I'm going to get an abortion. Fuck this nigga baby in front of a Planned Parenthood, talking about murder on my mind. This is what we got. You know? We go from KRS, You Must Learn, to, you know, rappers in Chicago rapping about people they killed and going to their graves and you know, pissing on their graves and shit and rapping about the dead, and, you know, there's no sanctity to it. There's no camaraderie. Rappers getting murdered for no reason. It's unlike anything I've ever seen. But again, who can we blame? Who can we blame? We sold ourselves for, you know, 6 pieces of silver. And now we don't have any control. I mean, you do have the internet, right? But of course, the internet trends kind of follow the trends of the major record labels, because if the major record labels put out certain artists, then that's what's considered the top tier. So of course, everybody on the bottom tier is still going to try to emulate what the record labels are shelling out. You know? And there's a true, like, sadness when I speak about the game now. I have a sense of mourning. You know? It's a true sense of, like, damn, man, they really took it. They took the magic out of it. And that's the thing I don't like about now. It's like, everything is losing its magic, man. And what I mean is, like, that feeling is becoming so synthesized and synthetic and plastic that it doesn't feel like anything. You know, the beats, the production. You know, it'd be rare for someone to make a song that isn't just all the same trap 808 shit to death, same vibration over and over and over. It's like, what the fuck happened to R&B music? Like, what happened to that? You're not allowed to talk about love and positive things, about family. You can't even make R&B now. R&B has to be rap, like R&B rap, like Tory Lanez, Chris Brown, like rap pop. It's like they're rapping, but they're singing. So it could easily be hip hop. It's just he's a singer. It's the same shit. But there's no R&B. They're like, we can't have black people talking about love. No R&B, no soul, no music with instruments and real things that you could feel. It's like they want to keep your vibration so low. Because they know if they keep your vibration low, then you won't be tapped into certain spiritual connections with yourself. You just become like an automaton. You know, these vibrations and this music, the labels they know these frequencies. They know the frequencies become hypnotic. You know, you don't like it. It's just that the production and the sound is so overwhelming that it makes you think you like it. The harmony and the melodies, they overdose you on the melody, but they take away the substance and just overdose you with the beat and let the producer just hypnotize you with the beat or the rhythm, because they know that that's how we are connected to music. And then they put a fucking toxic message in it, and voila, top 10 hit. We don't need any instrumentalists. We don't need black people wanting to be in a band or play a guitar or play the piano. Nah. If you can make some trap beats, you good. So it's like they take the creativeness out of it. Even the R&B singers want to rap over the same beats as the rappers, and it's all one big low frequency gumbo. No matter where you go, it's the same thing. The R&B so-called singers are rapping the same bullshit about I want to just fuck on a bitch. I just want her to suck on my dick. It's just like it's like real. It's real tacky. Like it's like low class shit. I don't know. I get a little frustrated when I talk about music. I think we all do. I think we all listen to the same old records over and over, and same songs. You know, I like a good beat. I like a good piece of production, but it becomes like an overdose. You know, the trends don't change. The internet is so overwhelmed with one kind of sound. It's like the evolution of the sound is, I don't see it coming anytime soon. You know, the way the music would change over back in the day is because the sales would go down and people would get tired of it, and the record labels would find something new. Now with the internet, there's no need to find something new. It's because they're always going to find an audience with the internet. It's not like they're going to be like, hey, we should try a different sound. Let's get something else out there. Maybe this drill shit is a little too much. Like, it's getting old. You know, the artist is like overexposed. You know, it's no mystique no more. So everybody's putting on an ultra front all the time. That's the thing that got P&B killed. Putting on a front 24/7. You know, because you always got to be on social media. You always got to be exposed. You always got to be putting yourself out there 24/7 all the time. And it's like, there's no mystique to you. Everybody knows everything you're doing, everything you about, everything you on. Get a couple followers and now, you know, you're cool. But again, it's like, the artist now is not original. He's trying to be like somebody else that got a lot of followers. Everything is a copy of a copy of a copy of a copy of a copy. It's lost its essence. You know, we talk about so much death. So much death. That it's almost, you have to search for music that speaks life. And it's hard to find. It's hard to find. And the crazy part is a lot of the more talented artists walk away. They don't involve themselves. You know, people that don't automatically switch over into the overt obsession with social media and just want to do music, then they just start to disappear. Because they don't have Instagram. Now they can't, you know, they can't get an opportunity because they don't want to be on social media. You know, I like the Griselda thing. I like the West Side Gun and all of that. You know, but again, even that music got kind of extreme because it was like an East Coast sound, but it was almost like the same concept of like drill music. It's just all about murder, 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 murder. And after a while, I couldn't really fuck with it like that. You know, I kind of fell back from it. I don't really look for it like I used to. You know what I'm saying? I'll listen to it, but I don't really go out my way for it no more. It got to come across my desk in a comfortable way. I'm not going to, you know. So that's where I am with it. You guys, man, in the comments, I want you guys to tell me where you at with hip hop. Where you at with the culture, quote unquote, and what you see now, and you know what as hip hop lovers, and what's your favorites? What are the MCs that you feel like you most emulate, who molded you the most? You know, what are the things that it still matters to you? What are your favorite projects, favorite albums? You know, let's have a hip hop discussion, because I think this is something that it has a lot to do with the state of our situation with our people, quote unquote. The music does affect you. It does influence you. That was my whole point. So if it influenced me to be this man because of the music I listen to, and you got to have a basis of intelligence to know what's rap and what's real and what's not. But I think these kids don't know what's real and what's not no more. So they're really out emulating real killers. And the labels are going to find real killers because, oh, he's really killing people. Let's sign him. That's why all the Chicago rappers get signed so fast. But anyway, I gotta get ready for class. I'm going to see 50 tomorrow, so I gotta start packing for my trip. I'll let you guys know how it goes. First time seeing 50 Cent live, but we'll see how it goes. Anyway, I want you brothers to have a great weekend. Enjoy it. Take your peace. Take your time away from things. Reset yourself. I'll be back on the next one. Peace.